The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey is a timeless self-help book that offers a framework for personal and professional effectiveness. First published in 1989, the book has sold millions of copies worldwide and continues to influence leaders, professionals, and individuals seeking personal growth. Unlike quick-fix productivity hacks, Covey's approach is principle-centered, emphasizing lasting character development over superficial techniques. Covey argues that true effectiveness comes from aligning our actions with fundamental principles such as integrity, fairness, honesty, and human dignity. Instead of focusing on temporary solutions, he encourages a paradigm shift, which is a change in the way we see and interpret the world. Through the 7 habits, Covey provides a roadmap to help individuals move from dependence to independence and finally to interdependence, where they can achieve the highest level of effectiveness by working well with others. This book is divided into 3 major sections. 1. Private victory. 2. Public victory. 3. Continuous growth. Each of these habits is based on timeless principles and provides actionable steps to help individuals improve their personal and professional lives. Let's explore each habit in detail with explanations. The first habit is be proactive. Being proactive is about recognizing that you have the power to choose your response to any situation, no matter how challenging it may seem. It's a mindset that shifts the focus from blaming external circumstances or other people to taking responsibility for your own actions and outcomes. Stephen Covey explains that between what happens to us and how we react, there is a space where we can exercise our freedom to choose. Proactive people use this space wisely, focusing on their circle of influence, the things they can control or influence, rather than their circle of concern, the things they cannot control. This habit is rooted in self-awareness, responsibility, and the belief that you are the author of your life. For example, imagine you're a project manager, and your team is falling behind on an important project. A reactive person might blame the team member who missed their deadline, complain about the lack of support from management, and feel overwhelmed by the situation. They might say things like, "This always happens. I can't rely on anyone." Or, "If only my team member had done their job, we wouldn't be in this mess." This approach focuses on external factors and leads to frustration and helplessness. A proactive person, on the other hand, would take a different approach. They would recognize that while they can't control the team member's actions, they can control how they respond to the situation. They might schedule a meeting with the team member to understand the challenges they're facing, offer support, and brainstorm solutions to get the project back on track. A proactive person doesn't wait for things to happen. They make things happen. In the example of the project manager, instead of dwelling on the problem, they would take initiative to address it. They might reassign some tasks to other team members, adjust the project timeline, and communicate transparently with the client about the delay. The next habit is begin with the end in mind. To begin with the end in mind means to have a clear vision of what you want to achieve before you take action. Everything in life is created twice, first in the mind and then in reality. Without a clear destination, people often drift through life, reacting to circumstances rather than shaping their own path. Stephen Covey emphasizes that true effectiveness comes from living by design, not by default. This habit encourages individuals to take control of their future by defining their values, setting long-term goals, and making deliberate choices that align with their ultimate purpose. A powerful tool for achieving this is creating a personal mission statement, written declaration of what truly matters. By clarifying their values and aspirations, individuals can navigate challenges with a sense of direction, avoiding the common trap of being swayed by external pressures or temporary distractions. Living with the end in mind also means focusing on principles rather than external influences such as money, status, or societal approval. Many people center their lives around unstable sources of happiness, financial success, work achievements, or relationships, only to find themselves lost when those things change. Covey argues that the most effective individuals are those who build their lives on timeless principles like integrity, fairness, and service. These principles act as a compass, guiding decision-making and ensuring consistency in actions. A key aspect of this habit is visualization, mentally rehearsing success before it happens. Great athletes, leaders, and visionaries all practice mental creation before taking action. By imagining their desired outcomes, people strengthen their belief in their ability to achieve them, making their goals more attainable. Suppose you're a college student trying to decide on a career path. By beginning with the end in mind, you might ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to lead? Do I want a high-paying job that requires long hours? Or do I want a career that allows me to spend more time with my family and pursue my passions? Once you clarify your vision, you can choose a career path that aligns with your values and long-term goals. For instance, if family is a top priority, you might choose a career with flexible hours, even if it means earning less. The next habit is put first things first. Basically, putting first things first means prioritizing the most important aspects of life rather than simply reacting to urgent demands. Many people confuse busyness with productivity, spending their time on tasks that seem pressing but do not contribute to their long-term goals. Stephen Covey emphasizes that truly effective individuals focus on what matters most by aligning their daily actions with their deepest values. This habit builds upon begin with the end in mind by shifting from vision to execution, turning dreams into reality through disciplined prioritization. The key to mastering this habit is understanding the difference between what is urgent and what is important. Many people fall into the trap of constantly reacting to urgent but unimportant tasks, such as last-minute emails or unnecessary meetings, while neglecting crucial areas like personal growth, relationships, and strategic planning. Mastering this habit requires self-discipline and the ability to say no to distractions that do not align with one's goals. Many people struggle with prioritization because they allow external pressures to dictate their schedules, leading to stress and burnout. Instead of letting daily tasks control them, effective individuals proactively plan their time by scheduling their highest priorities first. Weekly and daily planning, rather than reacting to momentary pressures, ensures that what truly matters gets the attention it deserves. This habit is not just about better time management, but about life management, making conscious decisions about where to invest energy. Saying no to less important obligations is just as crucial as saying yes to meaningful ones. For example, rather than accepting every work request out of obligation, a person practicing this habit would evaluate whether the task contributes to their long-term mission. They would also ensure that personal well-being, relationships, and self-improvement are given the same level of priority as professional responsibilities. Putting first things first is a commitment to living intentionally rather than being controlled by external circumstances. Those who practice this habit build a life based on purpose and meaning, rather than simply reacting to daily pressures. They ensure that their most significant priorities, health, relationships, personal growth, and meaningful work, are never sacrificed for less important demands. By making time for what truly matters and reducing distractions, individuals experience greater fulfillment, productivity, and balance. This habit transforms the way people approach life, shifting from a reactive mindset to a proactive, principle-driven way of living. When applied consistently, it leads to long-term success and personal satisfaction, ensuring that every action contributes to a bigger purpose. The fourth habit is think win-win. It is a mindset that focuses on mutual benefit in all human interactions. Instead of seeing life as a zero-sum game, where one person's success must come at the expense of another, this habit encourages collaboration, fairness, and a belief that there is enough success for everyone. Many people operate with a win-lose mentality, believing that in order to win, someone else must lose. This mindset leads to competition, distrust, and short-term thinking. On the other hand, highly effective people cultivate a win-win approach, where agreements and relationships are built on trust, shared success, and long-term cooperation. This does not mean compromise or giving in to others at one's own expense. Rather, it involves seeking solutions that benefit all parties involved. Covey emphasizes that win-win is not just an attitude, but a principle-based approach that requires integrity, maturity, and an abundance mentality. The belief that there are enough resources, opportunities, and success to go around. Adopting a win-win mindset requires a fundamental shift in how we view relationships, negotiations, and conflict resolution. Many organizations and individuals default to win-lose or lose-win strategies, either dominating others or allowing themselves to be taken advantage of. A lose-win mindset often stems from a desire to avoid conflict, leading to resentment and dissatisfaction in the long run. On the contrary, a win-win or no-deal approach ensures that if a mutually beneficial solution cannot be found, both parties agree to walk away rather than settle for a bad agreement. Developing this habit requires emotional intelligence and the ability to balance courage and consideration. Courage to stand for one's own needs and consideration for the needs of others. It also requires strong communication and problem-solving skills, as finding a win-win solution often involves thinking creatively and exploring alternatives beyond traditional compromises. Living with a win-win mentality transforms relationships and builds a foundation of trust and cooperation. In business, leaders who adopt this approach foster strong partnerships, create loyal teams, and establish long-term success. In personal relationships, win-win thinking helps resolve conflicts in a way that strengthens connections rather than creating resentment. This habit teaches that true success is not about defeating others, but about lifting everyone up. By shifting from competition to collaboration, people create environments where growth, fairness, and shared achievement become the norm. When individuals and organizations embrace this principle, they cultivate stronger, more meaningful relationships and achieve success that is sustainable and fulfilling for all involved. The fifth habit is, seek first to understand, then to be understood. It is a habit that emphasizes the importance of deep, empathetic listening before expressing one's own thoughts and opinions. Most people do not truly listen. They simply wait for their turn to speak, often filtering what they hear through their own experiences and biases. This results in misunderstandings, frustration, and ineffective communication. Stephen Covey explains that when people listen only to reply rather than to understand, they fail to connect on a meaningful level. Effective communication begins with empathetic listening, which means fully focusing on the other person's words, emotions, and perspectives without rushing to judge or offer solutions. By truly understanding another person's concerns, fears, and desires, we build trust and create an environment where open and honest dialogue can flourish. Many people fall into the habit of autobiographical listening, where they interpret everything through their own personal experiences rather than seeing the situation from the other person's perspective. They may respond with quick advice, personal stories, or dismissive reassurance, which often makes the other person feel unheard. Covey suggests practicing empathetic listening, which goes beyond simply hearing words. It involves observing body language, tone, and emotions to grasp the deeper meaning behind what is being said. When we genuinely seek to understand someone, they feel valued and respected, which naturally leads them to be more open and receptive when it is our turn to speak. This habit is especially powerful in resolving conflicts, strengthening relationships, and improving leadership skills. Whether in professional settings, friendships, or family life, understanding before being understood leads to greater cooperation and mutual respect. Once we have listened with empathy, we can then communicate our own perspective more effectively. When people feel heard, they are much more likely to be open to our ideas and solutions. Instead of imposing our views, we can frame our thoughts in a way that aligns with their concerns and values. This approach is essential in negotiations, teamwork, and leadership because it fosters collaboration rather than resistance. By practicing this habit, we move away from reactive communication and toward meaningful, solution-oriented conversations. In a world where people are constantly competing to be heard, those who take the time to truly listen and understand stand out as powerful, effective communicators. Through this habit, we create deeper connections, reduce conflicts, and build a culture of trust and cooperation in all areas of life. The sixth habit is Synergize. It is the habit of creative cooperation, where individuals come together to achieve far greater results than they could alone. It is based on the idea that differences should not be seen as obstacles, but as opportunities to create something new and better. Most people approach teamwork with a mindset of either competition or compromise, where one person tries to dominate, or both parties settle for a watered-down solution. However, true synergy goes beyond this. It is about finding a third alternative, a solution that is better than what either person initially proposed. Synergy happens when people embrace diverse perspectives, openly communicate, and work together with mutual respect. It requires a paradigm shift from thinking independently to valuing interdependence, where the strengths of each individual contribute to a greater collective outcome. Achieving synergy starts with appreciating differences. Many conflicts arise because people see diversity in thought, background, or skills as a challenge rather than an asset. However, Covey argues that these differences should be celebrated because they provide new ways of thinking and problem solving. Instead of resisting opposing viewpoints, effective individuals seek to understand them and look for ways to integrate them into a stronger, more innovative solution. Synergy requires trust and open-mindedness, as individuals must be willing to step out of their comfort zones and consider ideas beyond their own. In an environment of true synergy, people feel safe to share their perspectives, and the collective intelligence of the group leads to breakthroughs that would have been impossible alone. When synergy is practiced, relationships flourish, and teams become more innovative and effective. In the workplace, companies that foster synergy benefit from greater creativity, efficiency, and job satisfaction. In families and friendships, synergy strengthens bonds by encouraging cooperation and shared problem solving. Even in society, when different cultures and communities work together with respect, they create progress that benefits everyone. This habit teaches that the whole is always greater than the sum of its parts, and by embracing differences, we unlock greater potential. When we move away from competition and compromise and toward collaboration and synergy, we not only achieve better results, but also create deeper, more meaningful relationships that enrich every aspect of life. The last habit is sharpen the saw. It is the habit of continuous self-renewal, ensuring that we maintain and improve the 4 key areas of our lives: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Stephen Covey compares this habit to a woodcutter trying to cut down a tree with a dull saw. If he never stops to sharpen it, he will work harder and longer with diminishing results. Many people fall into the trap of constant busyness, focusing only on productivity while neglecting self-care. However, true effectiveness is not about working endlessly, but about maintaining balance and sustaining personal growth. By regularly sharpening the saw, taking time to rest, reflect, and improve, we stay refreshed, energized, and capable of handling life's challenges with clarity and strength. Self-renewal happens in 4 dimensions. Physically, it means taking care of our bodies through exercise, proper nutrition, and rest, which ensures long-term health and energy. Mentally, it involves lifelong learning, reading, and challenging our minds to stay sharp and creative. Emotionally and socially, it means nurturing relationships, practicing gratitude, and managing stress effectively. Spiritually, it involves connecting with a deeper purpose, whether through meditation, prayer, time in nature, or meaningful service to others. Neglecting any one of these areas can lead to burnout, decreased motivation, or even a loss of direction in life. Successful individuals prioritize their well-being, knowing that personal renewal is essential to sustaining high performance and overall happiness. Sharpening the saw is not a luxury, it is a necessity for long-term success. Taking breaks, investing in self-improvement, and maintaining balance prevent exhaustion and help us operate at our best. This habit encourages us to schedule time for self-care, just as we would for important work tasks. Instead of seeing rest or self-development as unproductive, we must recognize them as the foundation of sustained effectiveness. When we consistently renew ourselves, we enhance our ability to be proactive, make sound decisions, and build meaningful relationships. By practicing this habit, we ensure that we are not just surviving but thriving, growing stronger, wiser, and more capable with each passing day. I hope you have enjoyed this book, and for more explanation of such books, like the video and subscribe the channel.